they don't know, and everyone seems to be completely disregarding the fact that Dillian Whyte was cleared to fight. So, and then we'll come on to your questions. Okay. But like the WBC, for example, I mean, quite clearly, the WBC never wanted Dillian Whyte to be mandatory. All right? Why is that? Maybe he's not with, I don't know, the right people. But one thing I'll say is this: how can you suspend a fighter? On what grounds? Through an article they read on Boxing Scene. You don't know the facts yet. I don't even know all the facts. The only facts that have been presented to us is, I'm talking about us as in the boxing community, is Dillian Whyte had to attend a hearing, provide evidence, and was cleared to fight. He's not suspended by UKAD. He's not suspended by the British Boxing Board of Control. These are the people that heard the case. Yet the WBC decides to suspend him. On what grounds? So please, let's wait till the whole story comes out. And there's loads and loads I want to say. And unfortunately, because it will jeopardise Dillian Whyte's case, and more importantly, the fact that it's confidential between those parties, until it comes out, it's not a case of, so we'll never find out what happened. You will. But he's fighting for his career right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's I've said in America, guilty until proven innocent. And that...
Wow. What's up, fight fans? I was letting you guys hear a segment of Eddie Hearn, and he pretty much broke it down on what happened. And in that article, or that video, he made a lot of sense. I gotta agree with him. You have UKAD, then you have the BBB of C. These are the guys that, first of all, UKAD found out about this drug test. It wasn't VADA. Understand, Dillian Whyte is in the WBC, which under the laws of WBC, you have to sign up to have a year-round or a random drug testing by VADA. You know, that's one of the rules of the WBC. Okay? So, like, for example, Jarrell Miller, he did not want to be randomly drug tested. Therefore, he could not be ranked on the WBC's rankings. That's how that works. And now we all see why. Right? He's been counterpunched and debunked a long time ago. Everybody found out about him. But Dillian Whyte wasn't in that. He wasn't the case. He was the number one mandatory. Well, he was the number one ranked WBC heavyweight, which made him the interim silver champion, right? Now, UKAD and the BBC, well, BBB of C, the British Boxing Control, right? They had the hearing for Dillian Whyte. He was cleared. Then the article came out, and it was on Boxing Scene. And because it was on Boxing Scene, it got back to the WBC. Then the WBC was like, oh, you are suspended permanently. You know, on what grounds? Nobody really knows all the facts. He presented evidence to a whole different committee, right? To two different organizations. The UKAD, which the ones that had the problem or the issue with the drug test, right? And then the British Boxing Control Commission, right? The BBB of C. So he had a hearing with them, cleared the fight, they fought. Now all of a sudden, now he's suspended by the WBC. And I have to agree with Eddie Hearn. Obviously, they didn't want him to. They didn't want him to be that guy. They never wanted him to be that guy. He's not with the right people. He's not fighting on an American banner. He's not with Al Heyman or any of those. He's not Mexican. He doesn't fit the agenda. Okay? He's a black Brit. He's not going to fit the agenda. He's from Jamaica by way of, he's from Jamaica. right? But he lives in Britain or the UK. So, no, I don't think that they had any intentions if they're going to that quickly suspend Dillian Whyte, right? That makes no sense to me. But I mean, I've seen that coming, because when they hear something about a failed drug test and it's, it came out from Boxing Scene, what are you going to do? They did it. But like I told you guys earlier this morning, the interview, video I dropped, they were waiting for that. And all the things and all the speculation and all the blasting and the things that he said, about the WBC didn't help. Okay? And I think they were looking for a way, because you look at it this way. Look at the bright side. Dillian Whyte, he might have not got that opportunity anyway. Because who's to say if Deontay Wilder beats Luis Ortiz and then beats Fury, according to Bob Arum, guys, said, he deserves to be a franchise champion like Canelo Alvarez. And he says because Canelo Alvarez, he's a franchise champion because he's the cash cow of the sport. He's the guy that fills the seat, so he has the right to be franchise champion. Look, let me counterpunch all this shit right now. Nobody deserves to be a franchise champion. No honorary champion. What the hell is that? What are they, old? Hell, that's like, you know what? You know what honorary champion should be? Boom Boom Mancini. Thomas Hearns. Right? Oscar De La Hoya. Fernando Vargas. Ike Corte. Marco Antonio Barrera. Guys that are not fighting anymore. Because if they can't lose it, why are they fighting and why do they hold it? So it becomes an honorary thing, franchise. Okay? Now, according to Bob Arum, he thinks that Deontay deserves to be a franchise champion. Well, if a powerful guy like Bob Arum thinks that, right? What makes you think they won't take that idea? You think the WBC ain't thought about it? You think they're not planning to do that? Yeah, they probably are. So it doesn't matter anyway about Dillian Whyte. He was never intended to be fighting for any WBC belt because it's too valuable for them in America. Over here. This side of the pond. People, let me tell you something. The heavyweight division was dark, they said, for a long time. It wasn't dark, it just wasn't over here. Why? Because we didn't have any heavyweight champions. We finally got one, and that's what we're going to intend to do. They intend to keep that champion here to make sure what happens before won't happen in the future. That's why they're doing that. They don't want that idea of it going over there. Why do you think they're giving such shit to Andy Ruiz? Why do you think his nuts are getting the size of fucking cassava melons? Why do you think that? Because they're feeding shit in his ear and they're making him conflict the contract that he signed and agreed to. That's the problem. Because you have people over here that are using boxers as pawns to keep heavyweight boxing alive in America. And Dillian Whyte is not American. Okay, that's why. That's why he was that long and had that damn position, the number one position. Deontay Wilder should have fought him a long time. He should have fought him when he fought Fury. Fury, he thought that was an easy pick'ems, like everybody did. You know what I mean? You can't blame him. I did too. I thought he was gonna knock Fury out, put his head on the fourth row when he hit him with one of them haymakers and yelled, "Bomb Squad!" Right? That's what I thought was gonna happen, but that didn't happen. He went down, but he got back up 2 times. Right? Draw. Okay? But Dillian Whyte, no. So don't worry. The suspension was coming. But since it came too fast, that made you question, how bad did you really want Dillian Whyte to be champion or to fight for the championship anyway? Because who knows? He might have outboxed Deontay Wilder. He did with Rivas Oscar Rivas was just outpunched and outboxed, outworked. You know, if Deontay Wilder, he's not an aggressive guy. He might come in when he feels he needs to do something, but you know, if Dillian Whyte can hang in there, he might, you know, they don't want to take that risk, people. They don't want Dillian Whyte in there with Deontay Wilder, so stop. It's not going to happen. This is not that he's not in the plans, period. And what Eddie Hearn, I got to agree with him. You know, they don't want Dillian Whyte as a WBC champion. You know why? Because it's easy. Dillian Whyte has been beat by who? Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is what? British. Dillian Whyte is what? British. If he just so happens to beat Deontay Wilder, then does he become? The WBC champion. Then what happens? Guess what? Everything goes back over in the UK, right? All Joshua has to do is get past Ruiz. He has his belts back. Then Eddie Hearn will say, you know what? I got all the belts now. Boom. We're going to fight in Wembley. And then guess what? Whoever fights wins, and it doesn't matter who wins because they all get the belts anyway. Then you got one undisputed champion. Right? But where does that leave America? Back in the dark. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Eddie Hearn's statements, comments. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.